good Elseworld story can put a smile on my face. Today we return to Deathstroke, who is now a bona fide Viking, and he is lethal as always. Welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk about comic books and stuff. And this is Dark Knights of Steel, Allwinter, the Deathstroke story. I advise you to go check out the first story if you missed it so you don't get lost in the sauce because a lot has transpired. We pick up our story with a quick flashback into the past of the Viking Deathstroke. You see, Slade Wilson was a normal man who fell in love with a beautiful woman. Adaline was his soulmate. She trained him, taught him how to be the Terminator that he is today. That is until he crossed the line and she had to take his eye, staring at him in disgust for what he has turned into. And right now, she's still looking at him in disgust. The only difference is she's bleeding out. But at this moment, Deathstroke couldn't move. He was frozen. He was looking at the little boy that was literally emanating summer. This was the Allwinter. They haven't seen proper summer in years, but this boy is giving it off in waves. He had to call to Deathstroke, she's bleeding, before he woke up and said, okay, move. Tossing him to the side, he told her to hold her breath and pulled out the ice spike from her chest. He commanded him to rip the cloak and provide him a blanket, and the boy obeyed. But right now, they needed to get this somewhere safe because this little child was emanating summer so loudly. It was even on the rag he handed Slade. Making up his mind, he commanded the boy, take me to the inn now. A few moments passed, and Adaline, awoken from her slumber, fixed up from her injuries, she was nude, but her first concern was the boy. Going over and checking if he was still alive. When she confirmed it, she faced the monster sitting behind her, Slade. She wanted to know where her clothes were, and he said he made sure the lady washed it. But she didn't care. You took my clothes. How dare you? But honestly, Slade didn't give a fuck. Why and who is that boy? Adaline looked him dead in his eye and told him that is none of your concern. And that was a mistake, because Slade took offense to that. Adaline, I'm a soldier, a mercenary. Someone paid me proper coin to take that boy's life. You will tell me who he is, because it is my concern. It is all I am concerned about. But as soon as he mentioned the fact that he was working for someone else, the look on her face transformed. It turned bitter. You are still working for that madman. And at that moment, the boy awoken, calling to her, and she knelt down next to him, promising him that it was going to be okay. All they need to do was to head straight to Gillingham. And that was ridiculous because Slade knew that was not an easy journey, especially a journey where you have no protection. And this pissed her off again because he killed all of her protection. He tried to offer his aid, but she wasn't taking it. No, after all you did to our sons, you are a monster. Stay away from us. Don't follow us. If you do, I swear I will take your other eye. And just like that, she left. She took the boy and left. Slade had no other choice but to watch the love of his life walk away from him again. And this was a stormy night. Grabbing a hold of the boy on a horse to keep each other warm, they could do nothing but have a conversation because the boy was curious. Who was that man? And she explained to him that he was a good man once. He was her husband until he fell into the dark path. And now he's just empty, working for an absolute madman that seeks to destroy the world. And then the boy asked again, why do they want me dead? And she answered, because you are destined to save the world. But up ahead, something was blocking their path. A thorn bush. She had to come down and clear it. And he had one final question. What happened to your sons? And from the shadow, someone replied, the same thing that happens to all the sons, touched by my father's hands. They were destroyed. On sight, Adaline knew who this was. This was Rose, daughter of Slade Wilson, just as skilled, very lethal. She knew she had no choice but to fight, but this simply amused Rose. Bruh, you ain't even in your prime no more. This will definitely be a slaughter. Adaline promised you won't get this child until you kill me, And Rose was 100% down with that. You see, she was a psychopath. But Shorty must have forgotten Adaline trained her father, and her father trained her. Adaline was the shit. Technique-wise, she was on par with everyone, but she was old. Rose had the speed and the energy to push back the pain. Adaline didn't. Adaline was struck with an axe on her shoulder, and just before Rose could take her head, she felt an axe coming towards hers. Moving quickly, she struck it to the ground, and before her stood her father, the Terminator, Deathstroke. Looking at her, he showed no sign of mercy. He said, "Hey, pumpkin, you miss me." But she clearly hated her father because she struck him fast and hard. But she must have forgotten Deathstroke is not a merciful guy. Sidestepping her attack, he struck her deep and clocked her in her jaw, knocking her helmet from her skull. With one hard kick to the chest, he tossed her halfway across the field. She crashed and demolished multitudes of trees before impaling herself on a root of spikes. She was dying, but Deathstroke didn't give a fuck. And from the look of things, she was down for the count. So he went to check on Adaline. She was bleeding, but she was alive. She clearly still had love for him. So, as soon as he stretched out his hand, knowing full well he just fought his own daughter for her, she accepted it, finally united again. But the thing is, happiness never lasts, especially not for Deathstroke, because his daughter, his own blood, stabbed him in the heart, knowing full well it probably wouldn't kill him, but it would sure as shit kill Adaline. He had to watch the love of his life slip from his grasp again. He literally saw her face as she died, taking her final breath. But Rose wasn't even done. Nah, she was going to kill her father as well. But Slade, he tried to talk to her. This guy didn't show mercy before, and his daughter was a quick study. She doesn't believe in mercy. But the biggest threat was the little boy who had just watched his number one guardian lose her life right in front of him. Something was inside him, an energy so massive, so dangerous to control. He couldn't help but let it all out in one final explosive blast that took away everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. It took away the frost. This child, unbeknown to him, had the ability to bring back summer, and this power was as dangerous as anything else. Because even Slade himself, the forever healing, couldn't even stay conscious. He just uttered, "What?" and faded away. The boy was left alone on the snow with the corpse of his guardian. Yeah, this is giving me straight God of War vibes. Another old warrior screaming boy up and down.